Hello everyone and welcome to Flavour Fridays here at the School of Wok in Covent Garden. My name is Ruby and today I'm going to show you a take on a beloved dish, Bombay potatoes using leftover roasties. So Bombay potatoes is a very popular side dish in all Indian meals. A spicy sauce that can accompany it. You can have a blend of dried spices and just fried through the pan. There's lots of different ways and variations of this. This is obviously going to be a different variation altogether using leftover roast potatoes. And it's going to have a rich tomato sauce. So we'll start off by preparing our onion. With any sauce, we're always making that gravy from our onions. So we can chop up our onions into slices. Okay. Put those to the side. Also got some fresh ginger and some garlic that I will finely chop. It's always nice to use a fresh ginger, fresh garlic when you're making these dishes. I find that the lazy garlic or store-bought or dried doesn't always have quite that punch of flavour. So if you can, or where you can, always try and get fresh. So in a lot of Indian recipes, you'll see that they have garlic paste or ginger paste. And that's usually a blended garlic or a blended ginger that is prepped up in a kilner jar and then kept in the fridge so that you can use it throughout the week. My grandmother would always start her week off by peeling onions and having them washed and in the fridge to stop them from stinging your eyes, a jar of ginger and a jar of garlic. Ginger and garlic, pop that off to the side. And then we're going to use a combination of fresh tomatoes and some tinned tomatoes. So I've just got some plum toms here. I'm just going to cut them into wedges. It's nice to have the richness in the sauce with those tinned tomatoes and then nice big chunks of the fresh tomato as well. Okay. Also going to use some coriander. I really like to cook off my coriander stalks with the onions so you get that great flavour with it, and then you can use the bright, vibrant leaves to either garnish on top or toss through right at the end. I'll just save those for a bit later and then finely chop my stalks. Okay, let's start cooking. Right, so we'll start by cooking off our onions. I'm using a cast iron pan, but you can use any pan you like. Get the oil nice and hot, but then we'll get it down to a medium heat so we don't burn them. Again, we just want to soften and create the base of our sauce. I'll just pop the onions in first and then I'll carry on with the coriander stalks. So our onions have been cooking for about 5 minutes. I'm going in with my coriander stalks. We'll cook some of that flavour out, and then we're going to add in our ginger and garlic not too long after. Then we'll add in our spices. So this dish has quite a variety of spices. We've got some whole and some ground. And it will really kind of lift the whole dish up, having mustard seeds and cumin seeds, quite an earthy side dish. No boring bits though, no boring bits. Right, in goes our ginger and garlic. Just for a minute or so. The smell is so beautiful, really perfumed. And it's a really good indication of when we're cooking our food that, you know, you're really starting to get the best of those flavours out of each ingredient. Now at this point I'm going to add a little bit of salt, just a pinch. Now what this is going to do is start to draw out the moisture in these ingredients so they can be cooked off and soften down. I'm going to turn that down to a medium heat while we get our spices ready. So I've got my little spice tray here full of all of the favorites. So we've got some cumin seeds, some coriander seeds, some ground coriander, garam masala, some black mustard seeds, our ever favorite turmeric, and some Kashmiri red chili powder. So we're just going to have a nice combination of those spices. So I'm going to start off by toasting our whole seeds. So I've got my cumin seeds, put a couple of teaspoons, and my coriander seeds. I'll just cook those off for a minute. The cumin has just such a beautiful aromatic smell. And you can see now that all of that flavour is really starting to come together. Know that when we add in our tomatoes, it's just going to have a great base for our potatoes. And then in with some of our ground spices. So I've got my coriander, half a teaspoon of garam masala, and then what I'm going to do is just mix that in and then push it to the back of my pan. Now mustard seeds can give a really nice pop and then we get the best flavour out of them. So I'm going to just take a little bit of vegetable oil and then we'll put the mustard seeds straight into that hot oil. I'm going to take a teaspoon and just lay them straight into the oil. I'll just toast those until they start to have a little shake. Mustard seeds have started to sizzle and pop away. Mix them all back in together. Hope you've got some good extraction at home. Put all your hanging washing away. I know I've been caught with all my washing out, cooking a curry, and it takes on a pleasant smell, but maybe not for everyday wear. I'm going to take a teaspoon of my chili powder. It's got such a great bright red colour. And then half a teaspoon of turmeric. Now I'm going to add in my chopped tomatoes, just a couple of spoons at a time, so I can really lift anything that's stuck down to the bottom. Really earthy, still got, you can see all those whole spices. It should get dry and sticky again, and then we'll add a little bit more. So I've used about half a tin of chopped tomatoes. Depending on how many potatoes you have, you might need to either roast off a few more, or you could just boil them, whatever you've got. This is also nice to add in other vegetables. It doesn't really matter, you can make it your own dish. Okay, that is looking very nice. I'm now going to add in my fresh tomatoes. I'm going to add just a little bit of water just to top it up and then simmer our curry away. I'll give that, I think, about 10 minutes. Let it really come to a vigorous boil and then simmer away. And then we can think about adding in our potatoes. Let's have a look. Smells absolutely beautiful. All those tomatoes have cooked through, but they're still holding their shape. Our sauce has got a thick gravy-like consistency. Perfect to wrap around our potatoes. So before we mix it all together, I'm going to add some chili and some coriander. That will just really lift the colour up and give it that brightness. And I'm also going to have a little taste because I want to, but also to check the seasoning. A little bit more salt, but it tastes good and quite spicy, I might add. Mix it all in, and then we'll go in with our leftover roast potatoes. In they go. So Even though this is a traditional side dish, I would be pretty happy just to have this as my dinner. It's got great flavors, nice and filling, spicy, fresh, just good. Let's dish it up. Make sure you get all of those ingredients, the tomato, the potatoes. I don't think you can avoid the chili, whether you like it or not. And then I'm just going to finish it off with a couple of leaves of coriander. And there you have it, our leftover roast potato Bombay potatoes. Flavour Friday taste time. It's gonna be spicy, it's gonna be hot. Tastes so good. The potatoes are brilliant. They still have that crunch on the outside, fluffy on the inside, and that sauce is to die for. There you have it, our take on Bombay potatoes. This amazing dish can be enjoyed all year round. What dish do you like to have with your curries? If you enjoyed our recipes today, then please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. The lime and the coconut will shake it all up. What a silly woman.